Do you want to level up your body punching in MMA? In this video, we will discuss the best ways to land and execute body punches in mixed martial arts. Body punches are an often underutilized weapon in MMA, but when executed properly, can cause intense pain, disrupt the opponent's breathing, and potentially lead to an instant knockout. In combat sports like boxing, kickboxing and Muay Thai, fighters will stand in much closer proximity than they will in mixed martial arts, making the body punch more accessible. In mixed martial arts, fighters won't spend as much time in those ranges due to there being so many more variables. The smaller gloves, the threat of a takedown, even the shape of the cage, with it being much harder to cut opponents off than it is in a square-shaped ring. These are all factors in creating more distance between fighters, and it's why feints and footwork have become a very important jigsaw piece in modern MMA. There have been countless fight-ending liver shots landed in the squared circle, but that's not to say there aren't and haven't been some great body punchers in mixed martial arts. I believe as the game keeps evolving, the more well-rounded all fighters become through better coaching, the more sophisticated striking will get, and we will see fighters working better in the close and mid ranges, meaning more body shot knockouts. So how does one land a banging body shot in the current game? Let's take a closer look. Positioning. As already discussed, the first thing a fighter has to deal with is closing the distance. A fighter needs to position themselves at a close enough range to the opponent, typically within punching distance, in order to land the shot. They may have to step in slightly to close the distance or overcome some serious ground in order to do so. This is where we will see fighters use fakes and feints to gain an advantage or create an opening to land the shot. Effective striking in MMA often involves setting up your strikes to increase the chances of landing. You can use feints, jabs, kicks, or combinations to distract or probe your opponent's defense, creating openings for your body punches. Feints such as false entries, stepping in and pumping the shoulder as if going to throw a jab to get an opponent to react and disguise the step in. Getting the feet in without being punished is the job of the feint, the art of diversion. But I'd say the most effective way to land, in my opinion, is to get an opponent to shell up first. It's the most high percentage way to land a body shot. Occupy their hands by forcing them to cover their head, which leaves the body exposed. MMA fighters will bring their forearms higher as they don't have the luxury of having big gloves to protect the head, thus leaving more of their body exposed. Using combinations that attack the head first will help you get to the body safely rather than just trying to lead with the punch. If out of punching range, kicking from distance first can help bring a fighter's hands up before then stepping in with punches to the head, effectively closing the gap before coming downstairs to the body to land a liver shot. This is a tried and proven strategy to land body shots in a more risk-averse way. Counter-punching. Using an opponent's lead can be a great way to land a body shot. The feints as described earlier can be used to draw out an opponent's strike to make them miss and make them pay, or simply time an oncoming strike to intercept and counter, like catching a kick and putting an opponent onto a body shot. Slipping outside a jab sets up the liver shot perfectly, and is a tactic that can be used against opponents with slow or predictable jabs. Jose Aldo was a master of this. In fact, Aldo has been one of my favourite body punchers in mixed martial arts to date, and it would be a travesty if I didn't give him a personal mention in this video. When taking notes of his approach, something that jumps off the page to me is his commitment to his punches. When throwing a body punch, especially when leading with one, it takes an element of bravery and there isn't room for hesitation. When Aldo launches himself into a body shot, he is laser focused on it and puts everything into it. He will often follow up with more strikes once he's found his way in, and if nothing else, he'll gain ground in the cage and put his opponent onto the back foot. The biggest advantage of hitting to the body, outside of the damage it can cause, is it is a much bigger target than the head, so the opponent will have to make a bigger movement to avoid it. This means it's unlikely they'll be in a position to counter if they've had to jump out of the way to avoid it, making the body punch quite low risk. Targeting. When throwing a body punch, you need to decide whether you're targeting the midsection, the liver, or other areas of the opponent's body. Body punches in mixed martial arts can target ribs, solar plexus, or the midsection in general, depending on the openings you see and your opponent's positioning. This means selecting the correct punch, i.e. a hook to the body, like a liver shot, or a straight shot, like a jab or cross to the body, or a shovel punch, which is basically a long uppercut aimed at the midsection. When throwing a body punch, maintaining a good stance with your feet shoulder width apart for balance and stability is very important. When throwing the hook to the body, you'll want to rotate your hips and torso to generate power and keep your shoulders relaxed to avoid telegraphing your strikes. Again, this is where the setup is key. When throwing a straight, you'll want to drop your level, bending at the knees, and bring the shoulder in front of the chin to protect it. When throwing a shovel punch, you'll want to have your palm facing up and throwing the punch at a forward trajectory with a slight bend at the elbow.
Back and forth.
Oh, another good shot to the body. That might have hurt him.
Yep, that hurt Covington. That body shot hurt Covington.
Similar reaction when he got touched by that body blow in round one.
As much as a fight can be ended with a single body shot, the aim of it is to slow and tire the opponent down, draining their energy. It's where the expression money in the bank stems from. Body shots are an investment, and it's not all about a one-shot KO. This is why it's important when throwing a body punch to be mindful of defensive positioning, keeping the other hand up to protect the head and chin from counter strikes. Additionally, being prepared to defend against takedowns or clinch attempts if the opponent tries to close the distance. After landing the punch, you have to be ready to follow with additional strikes or capitalise on your opponent's reaction. This can involve throwing more combinations or transitioning into clinch work and a tie-up. Exit strategies can be just as important as landing the punch. Throughout the process of throwing body punches, maintaining awareness of the surroundings and the opponent's movements, potential openings or vulnerabilities are going to be key. Adapting the strategy accordingly to remain effective in the fight. If a fighter has a lot of success with a single body punch, i.e. landing a liver shot and causing their opponent to drop or quit in sparring, or they win a fight by knockout, they fall into the trap of always expecting the same result. And then if they hit an opponent to the body in the future and don't get that reaction, they almost give up on it. Going back to what was said earlier, body punches should be seen as an accumulative strategy, with the main aim of getting an opponent to slow down and begin bringing their hands away from their head to protect them from the punches, which can then set up your headshots. What is your favourite method to attack the body? How would you best set up a liver shot? Let me know in the comments. Pro striking out, I'll catch you later.
I mean, he's just unloading on David Jackson right now. All combinations, those body shots have now officially. That set up the headshot.